What makes Giannis and the Bucks so unstoppable? Let's find out. Now, the big key to the Bucks offense is their 5-out offense, and you can really see that in this clip right here. They're taking on the Cavs, and you can just look at their spacing. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys all on the perimeter, most of them shooters. I don't know if you want to count Robin Lopez as a shooter, but you can see the spacing it creates. And I want you to look at the Cavs on defense. Look at John Henson here in the corner. He's not even in the paint, not protecting the paint at all, and neither is Kevin Porter Jr. on the other side. This leaves the paint wide open for Giannis to attack, and immediately he identifies this, he spaces it out, he gets the ball, and let's see him go to work right here. And now we'll pause it right there, and you can look how Kevin Porter actually slid down to protect into the paint, which would have left Kyle Korver open for a 3. Giannis decides to instead spin to the other side because he saw that Kevin Porter came on that side, so he's going to spin to the other side where there's no help defense, and we'll see him get a wide open layup and finish this bucket. Let's take a look at a second clip now to really emphasize how much space this 5-out offense actually creates. So as you can see here, Giannis taking the ball up, gives it to Middleton, and he's going to come and set this little flare screen. He has no intention of actually setting the screen. All he wants to do is get into that open space because he saw where his teammates are. They're flooding the left side of the court. That right side corner is wide open, so that's where he's going to try and get to. As we see here, gets the pass from Middleton, and now look at this spacing. There's not a single Clippers defender even close to the paint. None of them even have a single foot in the paint. Even Kyle Korver's defender, who's on the complete opposite side of the court, is still very, very close to Korver. And this is the type of spacing that this offense will create. When you have incredible shooters like Kyle Korver on your team, you can get the type of spacing that we see in this clip. And, we'll see how Giannis just takes advantage of this spacing, goes completely ISO, drives right by him for a very, very simple and easy dunk. And look at that fan. Look how happy he is. He's loving the 5-out offense. The Bucks are winning. It's a great day. You can see the guys on the right cheering as well. But this is just a great example of how much spacing the 5-out offense creates, and how if you have the shooters, you can use that to create a lot of space for a dominant ball handler to just take on an isolation situation. Okay, now we're gonna look at an example of what happens when the defense really commits to helping on the drive by Giannis. So as we can see here, they're taking on the Nets, and as Giannis brings this ball up, let's look at the spacing real quick. 5-out offense, 5 shooters around the perimeter, Giannis with the ball, a ton of space to operate. But the big difference with this clip is you can see Karis LeVert is starting to slide down, Wilson Chandler sliding down as well, and the Nets have a defender 2 feet full in the paint, ready to fully commit to helping on Giannis's drive. So we'll see him drive here, and he's basically stonewalled right here. He's got 4 guys around him. The Nets basically send their entire defense just to commit to stopping one guy. But that's really what you kind of have to do in certain situations when you have a superstar as dominant as Giannis. But this is the difference between an offensive star and a superstar. Giannis is able to identify this defense. He's able to see this help, read it, and make the correct pass. So he's going to pass it out to DiVincenzo, who gets a wide open look at a 3, and he's going to make that all day. So this is a great example of showing that the 5-out offense doesn't just need to be for a single dominant player. It can be for other players on the perimeter as well. If you drive and they commit to helping, it's an easy pass out to the perimeter to get a wide open 3, as we saw in this clip. All right, so the Nets are really trying every type of defense in the book in this game. We're gonna see them employ another defensive strategy here on this play. So we're gonna see the 5-out offense once again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all on the perimeter, and a ton of space for Giannis to operate. Even in this setup, there's still no defender in the paint. So Giannis could definitely still attack off the dribble, but look how much space Jarrett Allen is giving Giannis. And now this is not necessarily a bad strategy. This is a strategy that a lot of teams will use against Giannis. He is not known for being a great 3-point shooter, although he has improved as of late. And so a lot of teams are going to dare him to take that 3. They're going to say, we'll give you that 3. We'd rather have you take that 3 over a layup or a dunk. So we see how far down Jarrett Allen sits here. Giannis is just going to take that 3. And he's going to hit it. But again, that's the type of spacing that this offense creates. If they weren't using this offense and there was plenty of help down low in the paint, Jarrett Allen wouldn't have to be so afraid of Giannis's drive and could come up more and defend that 3. But because they had really no help defense behind him, Jarrett Allen was going to back off to prevent from being beat off the dribble, and that created the wide open 3 for Giannis. Now I know what y'all must be thinking. Nick, this looks like it works against a man-to-man defense, but how does it work against a zone? So Let's take a look at a clip right here. Again against the Nets. They're really trying every strategy in this game. They're actually going to start the game in a zone defense. And we'll see here, we know it's a zone. Firstly, the big hint that gives it away, Kyrie is defending Brook Lopez. I mean, in a man-to-man situation, that's not going to happen. That's the first big hint. Another big hint is how far Jarrett Allen is sitting. In a 2-3 zone, he's going to be that middle defender. And if they were playing man-to-man, he wouldn't be this far down. And you can see here, they try the pick and roll, but there's really no space. And that's what the 2-3 zone defense does. It kind of collapses that space and makes it really, really hard to penetrate into that middle and get into the lane for an easy layup or dunk. It does open up three-point opportunities, and as we'll see in this clip, it does have its weak spots. So after they identify the 2-3 zone, they pull the ball out, and Giannis is going to sit in that weak spot. The 2-3 zone right there in the middle of that court, a giant weak spot. And that's because Jarrett Allen doesn't want to come up too far to get Giannis because he's going to leave that paint wide open. But Kyrie Irving can't really go to Giannis because he would leave the shooter and Brook Lopez wide open. So Giannis does a fantastic job of identifying this, and he's just going to call for this ball. And we're going to pause it right here. This is basically the spacing of a 5-out offense, but Giannis is just going to start in the paint. And we're going to look and see he has a one-on-one against Jarrett Allen. The corner helps are really not helping at all because they would let up a wide open three. And again, a lot of spacing with this offense. Takes him one-on-one. Yeah, that's easy money every single day. So clearly, this offense can work in multiple scenarios against man-to-man or against zone. All right, so let's take a look at another example of this 5-out offense. This one's pretty interesting. So DiVincenzo is going to pass it away to the wing, and he's going to immediately come and set a down screen for Giannis. You can see at the same time, Brook Lopez fades out into the corner, and right when Connaughton makes his pass, he's going to fade out to that wing to give Giannis even more space. DiVincenzo will kind of fade out to that corner, and Giannis is isolated against Naz Reid, who's actually a rookie, and this is a bad recipe if you're on defense. You do not want your first-year rookie going up against possibly the best player in the league, and, well, I mean, let's just see how this plays out. Ooh, that's tough. Giannis takes him off the dribble. The help is way too late. We'll see the help come from the wing, but at that point, Giannis has already basically passed. If you want to stop Giannis with help, you can't react to his drive. You have to prepare beforehand and really have that help already in the paint before Giannis even drives. I mean, this is just too late, too little too late, and it's a great example of, again, the efficiency of this offense. All right, yet another clip for y'all. I hope y'all can see the trend so far. And Giannis is actually kind of in transition. You can see it's very, very early in the shot clock, but the 5-out offense is still implemented. I mean, even though his wing defenders are not even close to the three-point line, those defenders are still not helping much at all. And you can see Giannis recognize this immediately. Again, no help in the paint. Nobody's even in the paint. Even Robert Covington, who's guarding their center. I mean, Covington is probably their best paint defender at this point for help, and he is completely occupied by Brook Lopez. Giannis immediately identifies this and is just going to take him one-on-one. And I mean, that's a matchup that the Bucks will take every single day of the week. If they can give Giannis the space and get one-on-one matchups, I mean, they're going to take this. Giannis is too good, too athletic. You can't keep giving him these one-on-ones the whole entire game. You have to either pre-rotate help or just double hard or do something else. But I mean, this is, again, this offense puts the defense in a very, very tough situation because if they help hard, Giannis is going to kick that out for a three. But if they don't help hard, we all know what Giannis can do in these situations. Again, great example right here. Giannis really making the most of this offense. All right, here's another clip for y'all. So Giannis is going to, again, have the 5-out offense, has a ton of space. Gorgui Dieng is giving him a lot of room, so Giannis could take this three. But again, he might not be super confident with this shot in this game at this moment. He prefers to drive, so he's going to take him off the dribble. And we'll see this wing defender come down hard. Typically, the wing defender will never really come this far into the paint. And we can just see how wide open it leaves Pat Connaughton. Giannis immediately identifies this, pulls the ball out, gives it to Connaughton, and that's a wide open three. The Bucks will take that any day of the week. It's not just Giannis with this 5-out offense. You really need those shooters on the perimeter to help create that space to where if the defense brings the help in to contain Giannis, he can just kick it out. It's going to be wide open. It's going to be there all day. That's the efficiency. Now, this type of spacing isn't just for isolation coming from the perimeter into the paint. It's also for post-ups, and we can really see that in this clip right here. Giannis gets this post-up, and look at the spacing. Again, you've got all 4 of his teammates out towards the perimeter, and no one's really bringing any help. And if you're the Bucks, you take this every day of the week. You take Giannis going against Jeff Green in a post-up matchup, and we can see how easy he just gets into that paint. But let's go back real quick, and let's look at Bogdanovic. He's the main guy who would be coming over and helping. But with that shooter in the corner, you can actually see him kind of hesitate and doesn't really bring help, just kind of sits in that middle area. And against Giannis, that's not going to really cut it. Giannis takes the post matchup, easy dunk, any day of the week. Okay, just to really emphasize the spacing, let's take a look at this clip right here. Giannis is going to catch the ball, top of the key. You got all 5 guys on the perimeter again, and I want you to specifically look at Wesley Matthews right here. He is 2 passes away. I mean, that's a tough skip pass to make, going from the top of the key all the way to the corner. Yet Bogdanovic is still very, very high up. He's leaving the paint wide open on his side. Doesn't help much at all. We see Brook Lopez's man kind of help a little bit, but with Giannis, you can't be in that middle area. You have to either fully commit to stopping him on the help or just fully commit to defending the 3-point. Brook Lopez is a defender kind of in the middle ground. You can't really do that against Giannis, and he's just going to kind of slide in for an easy layup. Now, Donovan Mitchell actually started right here. Starts much, much lower than Mike Conley, and Giannis kind of sees this, and he decides, okay, well, I think I'd have an easier time getting into the paint through the left side of the paint, or through the left side of the defense. So he's going to attack Mike Conley's side because he is higher up. He's not helping as much. And we can see he gets by him very easily. Conley kind of swipes in, does that little half swipe to get a steal. But against Giannis, most of the time, I mean, that's not really going to work. And Giannis, again, finishes the easy layup. Okay, this play is actually very interesting. So we see end of the 3rd quarter, fairly close game. I'll see crowds getting on their feet. Everyone's getting into it. Giannis completely isolated, calls for the screen. But we see Ilyasova doesn't really set the screen. He's trying to get a switch for Giannis to get his defender, and he's really trying to just get out of the way onto the perimeter. He gets the switch. Giannis now looking to take the ISO. Everyone in this building thinks Giannis is just going to go in and dunk on him. It's going to be crazy. But to prevent this, let's stop it right here. We see Donovan Mitchell help very, very hard from that corner. So he's going to come in, try and double on that drive. Giannis kind of stonewalled, but it leaves Connaughton wide open in the corner. Giannis makes an incredible pass after the corner. Hits that 3. That's going to be there all day in this type of offense, and it really shows the possibilities that can come from it. All right, once again, here's another example. There's a lot of possibilities that can come from this. Not only can Giannis attack on the drive on his own, not only can he pass it out to the 3, as we saw before, he can take the 3 himself. And we're going to see here, pause it right there, Royce O'Neal kind of fades back when Giannis is about to drive. And that's what the mentality will do with this offense. Because Giannis, I'm sure this whole game, has been driving the lane. He's been attacking hard. And when you do that throughout the game, the defense is going to start to pull back a little bit. Royce O'Neal does here. And Royce O'Neal, a great defender, but he's not going to stop Giannis on a one-on-one most of the time. So Giannis is just gonna take this 3, step into it. That's a confident looking 3. That's what Bucks fans will be looking for. If Giannis can start to hit the 3 consistently, their 5-out offense could broach unstoppable. Because to me, there's 3 main options in this 5-out offense. 1, Giannis can obviously take the 3 himself if they give him the space. 2, the defense can help hard. Giannis can kick it out to the perimeter and they'll get a wide open 3 that way. And the 3rd option is they don't help. Giannis will take his man off the dribble and more likely than not will get an easy layup or dunk. Those are the main 3 options, but if you stop one of those options, another option opens up. So it really creates this very versatile offense where Giannis can pick and choose what he wants to do in the given situation, and more often times than not, it's very effective.